Hey there, doing a small video here for this DB Power trimmer. It's a really nice trimmer actually that comes with the charging cable here, so it does have its own personal charging cable that's included, of course, and it plugs into the bottom right here. So it just comes without any of the clips on there, a little cleaning brush, and a couple of the different clips um, for different sizings, of course, to be able to trim however you like. Or so these are double-ended, so you can kind of come up on either end, but they are different sizes on both sides. So it says that it comes with a couple of different included sizes, but they're double-ended, like I said. So whichever way you'd like to use it, of course, you'd have to go up on it. Um, no problem to be able to use these in any way. I really do like this trimmer. All in all, it's got a very nice finish to it. Just a nice little power switch. It's got a sleek design. You could just turn it on. It's not extremely loud, not extremely quiet, but it's not the loudest. It's definitely a lot quieter than a lot of hair clippers that I've used before. It's very lightweight. I like that it's cordless, so you don't need to have any type of wires going around, because the wires are actually pretty bothersome for me when I'm cutting into the hair of my dog. He doesn't like it any more than I do, of course, getting tangled around when he's already pretty nervous or anxious about me cutting his hair. So I really like that I don't have to have it plugged in. The different sizes on there for the hair cutting is 3 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 9 millimeter, and 12 millimeter. So it says that there's 4 stage combs. Like I said, they're just double sided on there. And it takes about 4 hours of charging time. And you should be doing that, of course, before you use it the first time. That's going to be something that you do um, with anything that you get, of course, to do that. And it runs for a little under an hour, is what's specified on here. I ran it for about 45 minutes before I started noticing that it wasn't at full power anymore. So once it wasn't at full power anymore, I was like wanting to recharge it, of course. But I really didn't need that long for my dog. I have a very small dog. I just let it keep running later on, and I don't know if that was just because of like heating up, because I know the battery will be dying down a little faster once you if you keep it in continuous use. Um, but either way, you can get about 45 minutes of solid use on it. And of course, you could just be turning it on and off. But continuous use, and I did leave it on for that time. When I did cut it with my dog's hair, most of the time I had it on. I turned it off a few times, but most of the time it was on. And the biggest feature that I try to make sure that these trimmers have for my dog is one that I found on a pair of clippers that I got for myself one time, and I was like, I really enjoyed that. It was very difficult for me to cut myself with it. So that's when I decided I wanted that same feature for my dog, and I'm very glad that this trimmer has that. So I'll turn it on, and I'm going to put my finger right on the blade so you can see that it actually doesn't cut me, and it still cuts the hair, of course. So it is on now, of course, you can probably hear that, and I have no problem putting my finger on there with pressure. So that's very important to me for my dog, because a lot of the times he'll jerk around or something on there when I'm getting more closer to his neck. Is honestly the most sensitive area for him, and he just jerks like he doesn't want me to do it, and it always I always have to get very cautious and have to hold on to his head more snugly, and I know that that doesn't always comfort him more for me to be holding on to him like that. But this definitely helps my comfort level, and when I cut it in those areas. And I actually he wasn't as res- resistant, I guess you could say, when I was using it on him this time, because of the fact that it wasn't as loud as the clippers I used to use, and there was no cable, tripping over his legs. And I did buy him one of the standard clippers that I have, just so that I would have that same benefit of not cutting into him. So that's not really much of a change. It's just the fact that it's much smaller, much easier to handle for him, especially him being a smaller dog. So I could definitely see this being used for styling. I did just trim down his hair. I wasn't looking to make any type of design on his fur or anything like that. But I don't see there being a problem with that. So just my favorite feature is the fact that you can go on there and not worry about hurting your pet, but yet it's still gonna cut the hair perfectly fine. And so there's no worries on it, but you could tell that I'm putting pressure on there, and it's not it's not doing anything to me. So that's one of the most important features for me is the safety of my dog. Of course, I don't want him to be discouraged from getting haircuts, and I don't want to hurt him in the first place.